Hello everyone. I am Anna from GreenGeeks, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar, Optimize Your WordPress Site Effectively with LiteSpeed Cache by guest speaker Shivam Saluja. I will introduce Shivam in a moment. Glad to have you here though, Shivam. Real quick, I want to say a couple of words about GreenGeeks for those of you who are here and are not familiar with us. We are a 300% green energy web hosting provider, which essentially means we put back 3 times the power we consume into the grid in the form of renewable energy. We have been recognized by the EPA, by the US EPA, since 2009 as Green Power Partner, and we offer share hosting, reseller hosting, VPS, and dedicated servers. Okay, now moving to our webinar, a few housekeeping items. Please, if you have any question during the presentation, put them in the Q&A area section, and Shivam will be answering them at the end of the presentation. You can chat in the chat room. I've been seeing already you chatting, so I guess you already know. Remember to select all panelists and attendees if you want everyone to see what you're discussing. And as always, we're recording this. So if you have to step away from your desk, don't worry, as we will be sharing this recording with all of you in the next couple of days. I'm going to first to introduce from our team, Erica. Erica will be assisting us in the chat and the Q&A. Hey, welcome. Erica, do you want to say hi to the attendees today?
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica. I am from Costa Rica. I am a computer engineer and I work in the partners team at GreenGeeks. I hope you enjoy this webinar and learn a lot with Shivam. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Erica. Then we have our star. Shivam is an optimization expert at LiteSpeed Technologies and has deep expertise with LiteSpeed Web Server and the WordPress related products. So welcome, Shivam. Would you say hi to the attendees or just dive into the presentation?
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, Erica. Hi, guys. I am Shivam. I'm from India. I work with LiteSpeed as an optimization expert. And today we'll be talking about how to optimize your WordPress website with LiteSpeed Cache. I hope you'll learn a lot. Let's start the presentation. So today we are going to learn about how can we effectively optimize our website using LiteSpeed Cache. Let's go to our first slide. So what will we learn today? Something in detail. So first we'll learn how to install and set up LiteSpeed Cache on your website and make sure that it is working correctly. Then we will learn how to quickly enable optimizations using the LiteSpeed Cache profiles. Then we will learn how to use QuickCloud CDN with LiteSpeed Cache. A little background about QuickCloud CDN for those of who you don't know. It is the first and the only CDN in the world which can cache WordPress dynamic content completely and correctly. In this section, we will learn how to set it up using LiteSpeed Cache. In addition, QuickCloud is also responsible for the cloud-related plugin services such as image optimization, LQIP, or CCSS. We'll learn more about them in the webinar ahead. The next section we will get to is image optimization, where we will learn about reducing the image sizes and how we can serve next generation WebP images from your website, all for free. And then we will learn about ESI and WooCommerce, where we will cover an advanced topic of caching using ESI, which is a LiteSpeed exclusive feature, and how it can benefit WooCommerce and how to use it correctly. And in the final section, we will cover how to do the fine tuning with LiteSpeed to get the best balance between your website and the features on it. All right. Let's move ahead. Some important terminologies which I would like to explain before we move ahead so that it is easier for all of us to understand. So the first one is dynamic content. So dynamic content on your website is basically the actual HTML output which is generated from your website. And the web server and PHP and MySQL are responsible for passing this content for you. Static content are the files which are CSS, JS images. These files do not change. They are not passed by the server, and browsers are responsible for passing this content. The third terminology which we'll need to know is public cache, which basically means guest cache. It is served to everyone who is not logged into your website and is the same for everyone exactly. Private cache, on the other hand, is different for every user and is useful for logged in users on your website. The next one is browser cache. It is the capability of storing files into your user's browser. Because it stores the file into the user's browser because of its nature, it is only used for static content, such as CSS, JS, or images like we discussed earlier. Page optimization is the process of optimizing how the page is parsed by the browser when HTML, CSS, or JSS files are served to the browser. It is a little different from caching, because what caching does is it caches the dynamic content and serves it to the browser without parsing it again. While page optimization optimizes how CSS, JS, and HTML, which is served to the browser, is being passed by it. And the last one, domain key. This is a LiteSpeed Cache specific terminology, so a domain key is assigned to every domain that uses LiteSpeed Cache and is required for using any features that require contacting QuickCloud servers or any of the cloud services such as image optimization, critical CSS, or LQIP. Let's move ahead. So why choose LiteSpeed Cache? Why is it the best plugin to optimize your website? So the very first and the most important reason is that it has a server-driven caching mechanism. It is very tightly integrated with LiteSpeed Web Server as well as Quic.cloud. So it allows you to control everything by the plugin while the actual caching happens on the server. This makes it very fast. The next very important feature is ability to cache logged in users ESI. So what this does is it allows you to serve publicly cached pages, which means the pages which are supposed to be served to guests, you can serve them to logged in users as well, and then make small holes into them. By holes here, I mean small blocks which are privately cached for the specific user which is logged in. The third very important thing is that LiteSpeed Cache allows you to fine-tune your optimization to get the best balance between your website features and optimization. LiteSpeed Cache also provides you several free services through Quic.cloud that can help you improve your website speed, such as image optimization, critical CSS, and LQIP. It also, in addition to the cloud services, it also is fully integrated with QuickCloud CDN, which means you can cache dynamic content on CDNs all over the world and manage it using the same plugin. Let's move ahead. So what is required to run the LiteSpeed Cache plugin? The two must-have things are, the first is your web server or your hosting should be powered by LiteSpeed Web Server. LiteSpeed Cache requires LiteSpeed Web Server to enable server-level caching. However, other optimizations related to page and images work on other servers such as Apache or Nginx as well. For those who are not using a LiteSpeed Web Server, you can use the plugin along with Quic.cloud to enable similar caching capabilities on your website. The last two are only required if you plan to use cloud services such as image optimization or such on your website. Let's move ahead. What are the ways to install LiteSpeed Cache? So there are 3 ways to install LiteSpeed Cache. You could directly install it from the WordPress marketplace or enable it using cPanel or WHM, depending on your choice and your access level to the server and the website. All the ways, in fact, actually do the same thing. All right, time to get to the screen. All right, so I have my WordPress here. So our very first section was to teach you how to enable and install LiteSpeed Cache. So for that, we'll go to plugins, add new, just like any other plugin. We'll go look for LiteSpeed Cache and activate it. Now we'll also verify if the cache is working. So we can verify if now that LiteSpeed Cache is installed, it has caching enabled out of the box. So it should cache my website once now that it's installed. So we'll verify using by viewing the headers. We'll see that it says X LiteSpeed Cache as missed. So the first request will be missed. Let's try to refresh it. And there we go. So now we can confirm that LiteSpeed Cache is working on the website. But there are a lot of other options inside the plugin which you can use to fine-tune your website. We will first go through how to optimize your website using LiteSpeed Cache profiles. So they are basically pre-tuned profiles for your website which you can use on multiple different scenarios. So I'll show you one. Right. Let's close this. All right. So LiteSpeed Cache profiles come in 4 stages: basic, advanced, aggressive, and extreme. While the basic and advanced are good to run with any websites, aggressive and extreme might require some developers to help you to correct the fine tuning with the website. We will go ahead. I will go ahead here and try to show you the advanced profile. All right, so let's download this from here. Go back to our WP admin, LiteSpeed Cache. To install the profile, we'll go to LiteSpeed Cache toolbox. We'll choose the file that we had just downloaded right now and click on import. And that's it. This will enable these following features on your website in just one click. So you have image optimization enabled for your website, CSS, JS, HTML minification. What this is not fine tuning. So say that you apply the aggressive profile to a website and it does not work out and it breaks your website. So what to do at this stage is you have to revert to one stage before it. We will also learn how to solve if your website breaks in the fine tuning section further. For now, our next section is QuickCloud and LiteSpeed Cache. All right. So the very important question here is that why use Quic.cloud at all? Remember that the X LiteSpeed Cache header we saw during the installation of the plugin. That was cache being served from your own server. Now imagine that you could use the same caching layer with the same optimizations and everything on a CDN as well. That is exactly what QuickCloud CDN does. It does everything LiteSpeed Cache does on the server, also on a tightly integrated CDN, which is also why you can also use it on servers which are not using LiteSpeed. The other part of QuickCloud is providing access to image optimization, CSS, and other cloud-based services using the domain key. So first, we'll learn how to get a domain key. For this, we'll go to the general section from the left menu inside LiteSpeed Cache and click on request domain key. It usually takes only a few minutes if the requirements are all done, and it should then have a domain key. Once we have this, we should be all right. So we have a domain key now. Perfect. So let's go ahead and show you how we can enable the CDN. The very first thing that we have to do before enabling the CDN is to go to the CDN section and enable the QuickCloud CDN API. This is all you need to do to integrate QuickCloud completely to LiteSpeed Cache. So we'll do this. Click on Save Changes, and then go back to the general section. All right, so our domain key is ready here. We'll click on Link to Quic.cloud. All right, it says link this domain to my account. All right, let's go ahead. And my domain is now linked to a QuickCloud account. Now, in order to enable the CDN, I will go back to my dashboard, select the domain, and I see that the CDN option is disabled here currently. So I'll just go here, see what it says. So it says that we need to fix an error first, which is setting up the server IP. So let me just get the server IP. So we have the server IP for the website. We'll go ahead, save the settings, go back to the overview tab, CDN, and click on enable CDN. After clicking on enable CDN, it will provide us with a CNAME record, which we can set up on our domain, which will allow the website to go through QuickCloud CDN. And that's it. After the QuickCloud is set up, you'll also be able to verify it using a new header named XQC Cache, just like we saw the LiteSpeed Cache one before server level cache. All right. Let's move to our next section of the webinar, which is image optimization. We'll close these off. So image optimization is one area which is very useful for user experience as well as cost. Serving heavy images slows down your website a lot. LiteSpeed Cache provides a solution to optimize these automatically for free. It also allows you to serve WebP images to all browsers with support, with an automatic backport to original images as well for the browsers which do not support it, giving you the best of both worlds. So let's go through the process. We can open the image optimization section anywhere from the left menu or the top menu here, where you'll find the image optimization. We'll go through the settings area first. Now that we have already applied the advanced profile, that's why our image optimization settings are already on, but I will explain it to you what these settings mean and when you should use them. All right. So these top two options, auto request cron and auto pull cron, these two options ensure that your images are being pulled and pushed from LiteSpeed servers automatically. It is always recommended to turn them on. The third option, optimize original images. This option optimizes the actual images in their original format, and they are used to serve to the browsers which do not support WebP yet. The three options after that are website specific and should be only enabled if needed by the website owner. So say that you have a photography website. So that's where you might need to enable the optimized losslessly option. If you have less disk space, you might need to remove the original backups. If you need to preserve the exit data, you'll turn on this option. The rest three options are to create WebP and replace them. So we'll save these settings. And we are done. So this is the dashboard area where we can check. So this right information bar tells us how many images have been gathered in the top one and how many have been optimized here. It can send up to 200 images at once, but when you start the image optimization process, it will only start with sending one image at first to verify if the server is capable of receiving the images from QuickCloud servers. All right. So this completes our image optimization section. Let's move on to the next section of this webinar, which is ESI and WooCommerce. ESI allows us to punch holes in a page and then serve them to logged in users instead of general private cache for the full page. So to enable ESI, you will go to the cache tab from the left menu, then ESI, and then turn it on. Click on Save Changes. Doing this option will enable public cache for all logged in users and creates private blocks automatically with major WordPress or WooCommerce widgets. However, in cases when you need to change more than what is included by default into the plugin, you can convert shortcodes to ESI. I'll show you how. Let's go to a sample post.
Shivam? I'm sorry to
Yes, Anna?
interrupt you. I'm sorry to interrupt you. The attendee, some of the attendees are asking what was the URL where you got the preset profiles?
I will share the URL in the chat with everyone.
Okay. And the plugin that you installed after LiteSpeed, those two things, you can share them in the chat to panelists and attendees. That'd be great.
I did not install any other plugin after LiteSpeed. There was only one, I believe.
Okay, fair enough. So just on that link.
Just the blog one. All right, I'll send it over on the chat. All right, so let's move ahead with the presentation currently. I'll share this with you guys. All right, to enable ESI, we will turn on the enable ESI option. What this will do is it will enable public cache for all logged in users and create private blocks automatically. Let's see how we can convert shortcodes to ESI. So let's say that you have a widget on your WooCommerce, which has the shortcode, say, logged in user. All right. In general, you will use a shortcode like this. With ESI, once you have turned on ESI, what you can do is you can simply add ESI in front of the shortcode, click on update, and that's all. This enable ESI on the logged in user shortcode or the widget that is showing up on the front end because of the shortcode. And if you, after enabling ESI, there are also some pages you might need to privately cache. I will show you, it should be here. All right. So say that, in case of WooCommerce, there are several pages which you can serve as public cache, such as product pages or the category pages. But there are still some pages which are, as example, my account page, that will always be completely private for every user. What you can do is you can add your domain here. You can add such pages here to be forcefully privately cached. So say that you want the My Account page to be privately cached despite ESI being enabled. You could use the private cached URI section inside the cache section here in LiteSpeed. All right. Moving on to the final section of the day, where I will tell you how to fine tune the settings to get the best of all optimization options. So now let's consider a scenario where you applied the advanced profile and then turned on an additional option such as JS command. Let's do that. To do that, we'll go to the page optimization section. From the left menu, then to the JS settings and turn on JS command. We'll click on save changes. Say that after doing this specific step, your website starts breaking. Now, in such a situation, you are basically left with three steps. One, you can either downgrade the profile, or you can disable this specific option, or you can exclude the exact JS, which is creating the conflict with combining. So to do that, what we have to do is we have to first get the list of all CSS files, all JS files, since we are working with JS here, all JS files which load on the website. So I open an incognito window and let's go to the JS tab and refresh the page. All right. So here is the list of JS, which is currently loading on the website without LiteSpeed Cache. We have to make sure that we do not get the JS files which are optimized by LiteSpeed Cache. We have to get the original ones. So for this website, I already have the list made with me. What we will do is we will get all JS files which are loading on the website. We will go to page optimization, tuning, and put all of them in the JS exclude section. So there were a total of 4 JS files on this website. We'll go click on save changes, purge all, and then we will verify if the problem is now gone. If it is fixed at this time, it would mean that one of the requests is inside the excludes was conflicting with the JS combine. Going ahead, what we will do is we will remove half of this list. We will remove half of this list, click on save changes, and then purge all. What this will do is, if at this time, after removing half of the list, if the issue is fixed, it would mean that one of the requests inside the excludes is conflicting. If the issue comes back again, it means that the half that we had removed, one of those JS is creating a problem with JS combine. We will continue the same process by going half and half until we find the culprit. Similarly, for other options as well, such as CSS, JS deferred, URIs from excluding full URIs from optimization, there are also exclusions available. One important difference between the 2 exclusions, which I'd like to explain here, is one URI excludes you'll find inside the page optimization section. This section refers to majorly excluding all pages from page optimization, while the cache section, on the other hand, the excludes inside the cache section excludes the URLs from caching. These are 2 different things. All right. After doing this, after doing the fine tuning, you should be able to enable all options inside LiteSpeed Cache and get the best for your website. And this completes our today's webinar for LiteSpeed Cache. I'll send out the URL shortly to the profiles. It's also available on our blog. Please let me know of any other questions if you have in the QA area.
Yeah, there's plenty of questions in the Q&A area.
I will check them out. Just give me a second. All right. What are my views about hosting a LiteSpeed server? I do not have any views about the specific server. I think it would depend on how the server is set up. Is it a good idea to use Quic CDN with Cloudflare? All right. Which one is better? All right, so QuickCloud and CDN both do different things. While QuickCloud can dynamically cache your website, so it can also cache your dynamic content, Cloudflare can only traditionally cache your static content, and it does not have the smart purging system which QuickCloud has. However, if you need, you can definitely use QuickCloud to serve your dynamic content and Cloudflare to serve your static content. We have a tutorial on that available on QuickCloud's documentation as well. All right, our next question is from Max as well. Why does my sidebar doesn't work when ESI is enabled? Any way to fix this? All right, so the sidebar does not work with ESI. So it is possible that when you enable ESI, the sidebar's code actually conflicts with ESI. WordPress is a very big community. There are a lot of developers working on a lot of things all at once. So it is possible that there are conflicts, but those can be solved once you go through the debug logs inside the LiteSpeed Cache plugin. All right. Why are my scores on GT metrics? So we have definitely already started to work on the GT metrics in PSI. We are working on improving more on it in our upcoming versions. So you'll see more updates. Are we going to have a CDN node in Brisbane? I don't know about that. I think that would be a question for the QuickCloud product manager. Which one we have to use in CDN, Cloudflare, or Quic. I think this is duplicate with the Max's question. So it depends on how you want to use them. Do you want to use dynamic cache? If yes, then definitely go for Quic.cloud because it's the only CDN which can do that. During this, I am getting version cache of the JS and custom files. How to tackle that? I'm not sure if I understand that question. Madhu, if you would like to send me more details, you could send it to me on my email ID as well. I'll be happy to answer this. Next question is from Sanish. I have a blog with LiteSpeed installed, but site breaks for a moment while loading. How to fix? I believe this, if you're using the optimization options inside your website, this might be related to the critical CSS. If the critical CSS is not generated, to verify that, you can view the website source and see if the critical CSS is actually there. If it is not, wait for it to be generated, after which the FOUC, the flash of unstyled content, should be resolved. If not, do let us know. Can QuickCloud cache CSS JS files? Yes, QuickCloud can definitely cache CSS and JS files. You can enable static cache inside the QuickCloud dashboard in the CDN config section. Could you please A/B page speed insights test for before and after applied LiteSpeed cache on your website? I am not sure if I can do that currently, but if you can email me, I can definitely discuss this with you ahead. Can we use optimize along with LiteSpeed? It is definitely okay to use multiple plugins for optimizations or anything, but what is important to keep in mind here is that if you enable one option in one plugin, do not enable the same one in the other one. However, LiteSpeed Cache does it better than anyone else, and I would definitely recommend using that. Another question is from Patrick. I have a LiteSpeed web server. Can you advise me how to be able to manage email? How can I use it for email as well? I think this would be a question for your hosting provider. If you are managing your own VPS, you can check out Sidebar panel, which can help you do this. Our next question is from Sergio. Hi, the crawler can generate cache for different user roles. Can generate for administrator role too, so I'm just going to get fast too on the website. Actually, I think private cache for each machine is a share cache per head. I think this is something which is in the works, Sergio, to share cache between the same value users. You should follow us on social media so that you will be able to get more information on this feature. Our next question is from Karen. So will all this to make the website to be faster to get to? Definitely, Karen, yes. Doing this or applying the profiles that I shared earlier will definitely get your website faster. If you do the fine tuning ahead, you will also be able to get the best balance between the website features and the speed. And I think we are done with the questions. All right, so we have one more for Chinmay. Does it cause conflict when using multiple cache plugins? If you use two plugins for the same feature, it will definitely cause a conflict, Chinmay. So yes, it will cause a conflict if you use multiple cache plugins. However, if you use multiple cache plugins, make sure that the features are always different on those both. So say that if you have enabled CSS minification in one, make sure it is disabled in the other one. We have one question. We have two questions from Patrick and John as well. So I think that's between Memcached and Redis. I think that depends on how it works well with your website. There is also one more option, which is LiteSpeed Memcached, which is very fast and also supports persistent connections as same as Redis. But personally, I always prefer LiteSpeed Memcached. So that's the answer to these two questions. Any other questions?
There's a question in the, well, there's another one that came in and a question in the chat room at the bottom of the end from Ben. But let's read the one in the Q&A first, maybe.
All right, all right. So for John, the answer is same as the previous one. For Madhu, the question is, while using LiteSpeed Cache, my website is generating CSS and JS files of different versions. All right. Even purge or delete cache or removing the files or plugin out of no help. I need to wait until the file expire to make the another change in CSS. All right. So Madhu, I'm not sure. So if you purge LiteSpeed Cache, it should also regenerate the CSS files with the new actual CSS file on the backend. I don't think that would be a problem. If there is, please feel free to contact us so that we can check what's actually going on here. When will we have the option to exclude unused CSS and JS? I think it's in the works, and our upcoming version should have these options. Another question from Madhu. Yes, there is generating new one, but not removing the old one. Madhu, if you can send me these details in the email, I think I'll be able to check it more properly while when I have it in front of me. You can also contact me on our Slack.
Can you share? Can we share your email here for the attendees to mail you?
Sure. I will share it on the chat.
Thank
Where
you.
is the chat?
And great. So if anybody has any additional questions for Shivam that are like a little bit of the technical side like these, it's probably best if you send him an email and contact him. And there's his email. Let me just share it. Okay, it's shivam@litespeedtech.com. It's in the chat. As far as your various chat questions that I saw during the presentation, we are recording this, so once we will send it to you next week, you can watch it at your own speed if you weren't able to follow all of it. And thank you, Shivam, you also sharing the blog. So I guess if there's no any other question, we can let you go and let the attendees go. We'll be in touch. We'll be in touch with you. And everybody, thank you so much for attending. Thank you, Erica, for being here. Thank you, Shivam, for the presentation. And we look forward to seeing you at our next webinars. Please keep following our webinar page and, sign up. We have a lot of different topics of interest to all of you. Okay. So till next time, I'll say hi to everybody. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Till next time. Bye.